Hello my crafty friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Corin's Crafts. Well, I'm hoping you're enjoying the videos so far and all the lovely tutorials. Well, I've got another one for you today. Now this has been done slightly different. Here's my box. And you'll see that these layers match everything that's inside in a minute. I've just done a 1-inch box. It's 8 and a quarter by 7 and a quarter. So I made it from a 12-inch pad of paper. And inside, just taking off the lid, is this card. Now I'm recording this quite a bit in advance before I'm going to put it on the channel, because as you can see, this is my mum's Mother's Day card. So I'm recording it so that I've got time to send it out to her in France, but you're not going to see it until after Mother's Day, which I think is the 10th of March in the UK. I don't want her to risk seeing it. So I've already made the card. So I'm actually just going to make this little piece here. Can you see, with all that dimension? And then you can see it's a 7x8 card. I've done a black layer, a pattern layer, white, black, white, just splattered with some ink. I'll pause it. We'll have a look at it on the counter and then we'll get into making the card. As I said, it is a 7 by 7 in height, 8-inch wide card. I've gone in by, I think, let's have a look. So yeah, I've gone down by 1 inch to get my black layer. Then I've just done some decorative paper and I've done about 1/8 of an inch smaller, dropped it down a little bit and then done a very fine borders of the white, the black, and then the white. Now this white is watercolor card, and the card we're going to do this bit on is watercolor card. These are just a couple of little scraps, as you can see, left over from there. I've just put out some little tails. I've stamped my Happy Mother's Day. Now I stamped that in a waterproof ink pad as well, because I was flicking the inks onto here. So the inks are just my aqua pens. So I've done that, and I've actually popped those on here because you can see they've got a little bit of shimmer. I've just splattered them using a sparkle pen rather than water. So I'm just going to show you how easy this is to make. So the card is actually made using this stamp. This is probably quite an old stamp from Stamps by Me. You can see it's by Stamps by Me. And I think, if I remember rightly, it was a free members gift on Create and Craft. You got that for free, and then you could buy separately the dies. Sorry about that. So I bought the dies so that they then cut out the stamps perfectly, and I'm going to show you how to make the decorative bit. So all I've got here is my stamping platform. Oh, I've got a little bit of plastic there. Let me move everything out of the way so I've got plenty of room. There we go. So what I've got is I've got my stamping platform. I always stamp on to a mat as well if I can. That was just a piece of paper on there. So this is my cardstock. It is just shy of 8 inches square. So I'm just going to pin that down with the magnet. Oh, there's my last one. And then I'm going to get the stamp and I'm going to pop it over to one side. And you'll see why I'm doing that in a minute, why I'm putting it over like that. So then I'm going to pick it up, and then we're going to stamp it with our ink pad. Now I'm using a waterproof ink pad. You want an ink pad that's not going to react with a water-based medium. So I'm going to be using plenty of water and my aqua pen. So yeah, whatever ink pad you like to use, that is we'll just take that. That is brilliant. I know you've all got different ones. Just give that a minute and then press that down, make sure I've cut. I'm going to be doing 2 stamps. Before I even lift this up, I know I want to stamp it twice, just because, look, you can see it's a little bit faded in places. So let's go in again, and then we can put that. And I always like to try and get all those little stameny bits at the middle, and then we can put that bit on to there. So there we go. Why don't I bring the ink pad over there so I'm not crossing over? Let's go again, pop it in, and then press it down. There we go. I think that will probably be enough. Perfect. That looks lovely, doesn't it? Right, I'm going to ink it up again. And you can see straight away, look how it's going to fit on this side of my cardstock. Because I need 2 stamped impressions, because we're going to do some mats and layers. Now there aren't any mats and layers in the stamp, you've just got the one size stamp. So what I'm going to do, pop that down there and stamp it on this side. Now because I cut my card to the right size, so just shy of 8 inches, and stamped down one side. All I've done, as you can see, look, rotate the stamp round so I can get 2 impressions. Again, not quite enough. Let's pop this on here. Now this card, I've done it as you saw as a Mother's Day card, but it's going to look absolutely beautiful as a birthday card or whatever you want it to be. So we can pop that. Oh, I think the camera's just moved a little bit. There we go. I'll go back to where we were. There we go. And then we can do the next layer. There we are. Oh, I need a little bit more. Where was that? That's there, down that side. Obviously not caught that side properly. There we go. And pop that in. What have I done? Because that's not lining up. Oh, I can't. I've knocked the paper. I better not do another layer. But you get the gist of how I've done it. I've knocked something, so we're out of sync. But you can see we've got 2 layers. Now you can be fussy cutting these if you wanted to, but we don't want to be doing fussy cutting. What we're going to be doing is using the dies. So what you want to do is you want to be cutting it like this, and I'll pop that over there. Tape it down with a little bit of tape, and you can see that just fits absolutely perfectly. Now what I would be recommending at this point is you cut that in half, because just to fit through your plates you're going to get a better impression. So cut that out once, and this is what you're going to get. And then we will cut it out a second time, and we will start to cut around the flowers that I want. So I only want these 2 flowers just here, so we're going to cut those out. I've cut these out and I started to colour them, and you can see those fit just there. Can you see they're from there? So how did I colour them? It's really easy. Let's move some bits out of the way again. I have got, let's make sure we're nice and straight again. I have got some water in a jug, and I've got my pen. So we're going to start with our green. So all I'm going to do is, now where it's things like the stems, I'm just going to colour through there. I'm just going to make sure I see what I did last time. And we can come up through here. Now the great thing is with aqua pens is you can put it, we don't do too much straight to card, but you can do a little bit if you want, but most of the time we do it onto a meat mat. So all I've got is I've got my bud green and I've got my verdant green. Now the bud green is the one I'm going to use the most of, so I'm going to lay it down. So all I'm doing is scribbling onto the mat, and then I've also got a piece of paper towel. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to just to dilute this down. I'm just going to dilute it down from the edge, so it's still solid ink there, but diluted at the end. And then I'm just going to start to paint. Now, if you are unsure about colouring, I can promise you that starting, that was a bit wet, starting with things like watercolour colouring, watercolour art is by far and away the easiest. It's so much more forgiving. Yeah, it's much easier way to start. And I'm just going to do those because that's quite wet. I haven't finished all the leaves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in, a little bit more water onto here. And then I'm just going to, so that's underneath, it's darker, so I'm just going to spread that up. So I'm going to come in a little bit darker under here where the leaf comes out from underneath, and then come up as well. And again where the leaf comes out, and bring it up as well. If you don't like how it looks, don't worry, you can always go back in and with your original colour, and then you can just blend it out as well. But I promise you, once it's dry, it'll look brilliant. So we can pick up the next bit, and then we can then add a little bit more. Oops, I've gone onto a petal. Wasn't looking properly. There we go, let's go around there. We can sort that in a minute. And then we can come around. Now, have I got all of the leaves? I think I have. Oh, let me just do a little bit of the darker green on here. Just bringing it all the way up there, and then clean my brush. all the way around there. Okay, so I've got the green on, pick that up, and then we're now going to do the pink. So the pink that I'm using is Tulip. Now, you can't always see this very well. Now I'm going to need a lot of this. I'm just scribbling it down on here. And I'm also, sorry, going to use the hot pink. So I need that, don't need quite as much. Put those there. Right, I'm not changing my water because it's not mucky enough. Clean my brush. And then, tell you what I need to do before I start. I need to just do the centres of the flowers. Now again, I'm going to go straight in with the brush. Can you see on there? There we go. I'm just going to, it's just a little bit of detail. I'm just going in to there, just where the centres are. And I think I'll do a little bit round here and a little bit round there, just to see where those stamens are. So then we're going to come in with our water and our brush. I'm going to go to the tulip, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to do mostly round the tips of the petals. And again, I want that watercolor effect, so I'm not going to worry too much. Can you see? Hold your brush. I'm not holding it down here, I'm holding it up a little bit, just so it's a little bit more free flowing, and I'm just going to colour down there. Can you see I'm not going right down to the middle, and I'm just bringing that down. And again, I'm not too concerned about getting perfect finish. I want that watercolour effect. Let's come in here, and then again on these. So these are just, I think these are the petal bits. It's up to you. No one's going to be looking at this and saying, oh, you've got that wrong. So yeah, you do it however you want. Oh, that's a green one there. I'll do that in a minute. And then I can come on to things like this and do that. Now, I'm not going to go any further for a minute. I'm going to just clean my brush. I'm going to come to the hot pink, and I'm just going to drag the hot pink from the outside down to the centre. So I'm doing a dragging down motion. So I want that to be slightly darker where it's the centre of my flower. And again, just letting it flow naturally. And I'm going to come out from here as well, so you can see where all the petals are gathering. So I can come back to my tulip, and then I can then just start to blend that out a little bit more. Just keep blending. I need a little bit more of this one down here. You can see where it's coming out, and again the same with this one, where one lies over the top, it's going to be a little bit darker. There we go. Right, I do need quite a, I said I'd need a lot of the tulip, so we just keep applying a bit more as we need it. Oh, and could do with a little bit of a blend just there. So let's blend one of these ones around here. That one wanted to be pink, didn't it? And I went over it. I might actually just go with my pen in a minute. So we can come round here, just around there. A little bit of the hot pink, just, and you see it's about enjoying it. I'm not spending too long worrying about that. And actually I'm going to come in with that where I went over. There we go. Covers up a multitude of sins, doesn't it? So let's just make sure we've got plenty of tulip laid down, because we've got a few more to do yet. Let's move round to the next one. And again, we're going to do the same on here. There we go. Just round like that, all the way round there. I'll finish colouring this one, or painting this one, however you want to describe it, because I've done the other little bit. That pink isn't showing up enough. Put a bit more down. Grab a little bit on my brush, and again, drag it down in to the centre, and then always pick up a little bit more and just blend that out. So you can see it's coming together. It comes together quite quick, doesn't it? What we haven't done just here, remembering wherever one petal lays on top of the other, it's always going to be a little bit darker. We're getting there now, just through here. So you can see I've just got a nice shaped paintbrush, nothing fancy, just just actually it was the first brush I came across when I went into my bag, but I wanted something with quite a nice shape to it so that I could really get into those details. And you can see as well, I'm not taking too long to paint each one, but it's all about doing that lovely blend, isn't it? And you can see it comes together. I love doing painting like this, and you can see so simple. Let's do this last flower because I've got one leaf that I missed, didn't I? We found that. You'll often find that. Oh no, that's a bit of white. Get that off quick, and then we can come through just there like that. Now, where was that leaf? It was just down here. I'm actually, I'll do it the right way. I'll do it the right way. A little bit of green, pick it up, and then just paint it on. It's quite dark, so I can thin it out and then just paint it like that. And how effective does that look? Let me just move that out of the way. Can you see? Got that lovely watercolour effect. Now what you really want to do is let it dry. I've not really got a lot of time to let it dry, so what I'm going to do is just put that one to one side. It's quite warm in my craft room. Then I'm going to just get a ball tool. Got one here, and this one's dried a little bit more. I'm going to flick it over. Do you see I also cut out that little centerpiece, and I think that makes such a difference. Give it a little bit of shape. Now if you want to, what you can also do is come in with something like your sparkle pen and just add a little bit of shimmer onto this one. You see the shimmer more when it's dry, but again, this is why you must use a waterproof ink pad, because we've had a lot of liquid on there. You can take this one, and actually because it's had liquid on it in the form of the water based pens and the water, you can actually get quite a nice lot of shape. So that's all I do, just give it a little bit of shape. I've got this one, and then I'm going to grab, what am I going to grab? 3D glue. 3D glue for me is the way to go on this all the time. So this comes on this side, and I'm just going to pop this in. Now I know I've rushed through this, but this is just to show you how simple putting something like this together can be. So you can pop that on to there, and then let me put that away. That is my topper, so I would probably do that, let it dry, leave that to dry. You've got the dimension, you've got the sparkle, isn't that lovely? And then that is all I've put on to my card just there. As I said, I've started with 7 by 8. I've gone in by about an inch to do my black layer, then 1/4 of an inch to do the decorative, bit more then, and I've got white, black, white with the splats and whatever sentiment you want, a couple of liquid pearls, literally a little offcut, pop up in that corner, and then that is going to be sent to my mum all the way in France in a nice box. So I've just done 7 1/4 by 8 1/4 with an extra inch. So my piece of card to make that would be 9 1/4 by 10 1/4. Score on your scoreboard with the lid and the base, and I've just sort of mirrored on there with that one for the pattern, and that all fits perfectly together. I can write on the front of there, and that is going to be posted very shortly. I hope you enjoyed that. Very brief, but I just wanted to show you how to make a gorgeous stamp. As I said, I've used stamps by me. I'm sure you've got lots of floral arrangements that you could use like that, and you can soon work out how to cut into them like I've done to create decoupage as well. Happy crafting everyone, and I hope you enjoyed that brief tutorial.